Welcome to 108 Gate. We're doing the Divine Masculine reading. The Divine Feminine reading is up. Quite something going on in that space. Check it out. It's up and ready for you to inhale. Divine Masculine is coming in with a different kind of vibe. So Divine Feminine very much in the space of understanding what it means to appreciate your own higher value. It's easy to say the words of it, but the actual feeling of it, the allowing self to be empowered in that space, is a very different conundrum. It's a very different puzzle. It's a very different space within self, very different consciousness. So I do have a feeling that we'll be exploring that in greater detail. For now, we're in the Divine Masculine energy. Right. Adaptation and compassion. I'm seeing that there. Adaptation and compassion. Insight. Renewal. Right, so straight away we're getting the vibe now of to be a part of one's higher self. It means you really do have to rise up. You have to go there. You have to be willing to make those sacrifices that you're either avoiding or you're not willing to see. When you've been avoiding it for so long and not willing to see it, it becomes like it's more and more difficult to access, even when you do feel ready to see it. So although you may be getting some insight to something, it's a matter of how deep do you want to go? How deep are you willing to go? And it's not one of those things that you can say from outside of like, oh, I've just had... to get in the pool and experience the pool, you have to be in the pool. You can't just dip your toe in the pool or hang over the side, hang your legs in the pool and just flap your feet around in the pool without actually getting into the pool. So it feels like there's some who are sitting on the side of the pool, putting their legs in and having the perspective and the perception as if they're in the pool. But it's really, really... I spoke about this in... I'll keep shuffling while I'm talking. I spoke about this in the Divine Feminine reading, that it feels like we've got another split coming up. And the way the configurations are going, I'm not surprised. So there does feel like there's going to be another split coming up. So if there is being... there's certain things that are kind of dividing off. It is going to be like you're taking left, I'm taking a right, or that project is now taking a left, I'm taking a right, I'm going to a different project. Whatever it is, there's a split coming up. Excuse me. So acknowledging that split and not resisting it. If you resist it, it's just going to get more difficult to acknowledge it, or it's going to get more difficult to actually reap the benefits and the rewards from it. Other part of this is if you're trying to bring others with you onto your side when this split is occurring, that's also going to be detrimental to self. So it's literally allowing things to be organic. Literally have the hands are up. Hold your hands up. Let it be organic. Which is ever meant to come with you on your side of the split, let it come. You can't carry everyone with you. You can't carry certain patterns with you to be able to still hold on to a part of self that's gone or about to go. The more you try and hold on to that, the more difficult it's going to be. It's literally hands open, hands receptive to receiving your benefit from what you've already done and going into the new space, into the new direction. Or it's going to be the other way, where there's some people holding on to old ways and they're going to split and go a different direction. It feels sad on some level, but at the same time, it's inevitable. So interesting, we had a lot of swords in the feminine energy. In the masculine energy, we've got a lot of coins coming in. So where the Queen of Coins in the feminine energy was understanding a different value, of own worth. It's easy to say, increase the value of yourself, increase the value of how you perceive yourself. To do it, to feeling it, to experiencing it, to applying it, to then adapting the way you do things, adapting the way you expect things on a certain level, expectations, basically letting go of lower expectations, increasing standards, increasing values. It's got to be, it's like an intuitive, instinctive thing. If you don't know the higher value of self, because you haven't accessed the higher perception of self, you haven't accessed the communication with higher self, it's going to be more, it's like getting into a cave, never been in that cave before. How are you going to step forward? You need to understand the territory you're in, therefore connecting with higher self, understanding higher self, being aligned with higher self. You can't afford to kind of have others pulling you in the wrong direction. I know it sounds a bit dramatic or whatever, but it's not, because when you think about, those of you who've been with me a while now, I've been saying it's going to intensify, it's going to intensify, it's going to intensify. If you're managing how to deal with this intensity, you're going to be going pretty much, it feels like, in the one direction of the split. If you're still panicking or stressing about certain things, you're going to be going in the different side of the split, and you might have to recircle some things again. So taking notice of what you're having to recircle and revisit and redo and things like that, to get yourself out of there sooner and into the other side of the split. There's only a certain point at which this split will be open and available to kind of hop onto the next line. So if you think about a train leaves a station and it's going to leave station, it's when it picks up momentum, picks up speed, it's already gone. It's too late. You can't get on the train. The doors are shut. Then you're going to be going in this direction. If you're on the other side and you're picking up momentum and you're identifying, I can't be emotionally dragged down right now, I can't be emotionally manipulated or emotionally weighed down with other people's things, with other people's expectations of me, you're going to be going in the other direction. It's not an easy task. Those of you who are doing it, those of you who are going in this direction, the insight, the Six of Coins, the equilibrium, the whatever it is, then you're going to understand you're already evolving and you're going to continue that evolution. Here, time to begin again, stronger and better. So this is saying that yes, you can also have that if you're going in that direction of the split. But here, it's depending on where you're in the process. If you've already gone in the process and you're going that way, there are some things that still need renewing. Time to begin again, stronger and better, and then it can be accumulating energy over there. But some, you don't want to get stuck in a whirlwind or a loop here. Interestingly, how the coins are loops. What loops are healthy for you? What loops are beneficial to you? Which loops and loopholes do you need to get free of, break free of? Allowing in the higher guidance, allowing in the divine guidance to take you in a direction or out of a direction. And here we have Nine of Wands. So mastering this equality and things like that, you've really, really got to work on your self-talk and how you communicate about things, how you communicate about others, how you communicate to yourself about others. And there's some truth, there's elements of truth here that are just going to be pulling on the heartstrings. There's some elements of truth that are going to be difficult to acknowledge, some elements of truth that are difficult to even say, some elements of truth that are going to be difficult to think, feeling like a bad person, feeling like you're doing something wrong, feeling like you're hurting something or someone, feeling like you're damaging something. Before, a few days ago, we had towers. We had quite a few towers coming in. This is the thing that I was talking about in that video of when I said there's some towers are not going to be yours. You deciding to go on that side of the split, because in the long term, this lifetime, next lifetime, and other things, and then quantum wise, you know it makes sense, and then their little feeble kind of holding on to you, it's not worth it. It's not worthwhile, and you're going to see the bigger picture, and you're going to go to the bigger picture. If you let people pull you down and hold you down, you're going to get sucked back in to the vortex, and it feels like there's hardly any of those, but I can feel there's a few that are going to get tugged out. So it's going to be a weird thing to say, but I'm going to say it. I can see the numbers changing. I can see certain interactions going in and out. I can see the statistics of what's going on with the channel. I'm not worried about the numbers. Yes, it's nice when it goes up, but at the same time, I'd rather be here doing a quality reading than doing a half-assed job and then not getting you an actual message you can use. If it's not resonating, it's not resonating. If it is resonating, excellent. Hopefully it's useful. Hopefully then we can just keep going forward. Not everyone can be held on to. Not every person that comes to the channel will stay. Not every one that wants to come or doesn't want to. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally hold off. Like that. Hold off. Let things be as they're meant to be. Let things take care of themselves. You take care of yourself and make sure you're doing what you need to do with honour in your heart, with dignity, with a certain level of healthy pride, and increase the elements of healthy ego. Now, I don't think the ego is accurately communicated about when we're looking at social media and stuff. So the ego is the mediator between the id and the superego. It's not a lot of the times how it's perceived to be some this damaging kind of thing. It's the navigator. It's the one that's trying to mediate between the certain aspects of yourself. So it's like if it's not healthy, it's because it's swaying in one way or the other. The id, which is your actual aspect of you, of who you are, in the context of the superego, what other people's rules, regulations and standards that you've accumulated, you have to get that equilibrium between them so that you can function properly in the now. This is where the ego, this is what the ego's purpose is, the ego's job is. You've got to find that balance. So if the ego's off, that's when we're trying to overcompensate. That's when we're trying to overdo things or underdo things, because the ego isn't healthy, because it's not being nurtured in the correct way. So a lot of the stuff that comes on, blame the ego, blame the ego. Those of you who've been with me for a while know that I don't like that talk. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's inaccurate, if nothing else. You can go and read the proper research around it and the proper actual definition of what it is. Then you'll see the ego is nothing to be bashed. It should be healthy. It should be nurtured in the correct way, supported in the correct way. So here we've got 9 cups. 3 of those cups are broken. I'm not surprised, because it's like the things that are going to be demolished, the things that have to be broken, especially now. This does feel like a divide. So you either have compassion and just keep going, or you're going to be on this side. It does feel like it's the split. I haven't heard anyone speak about a split yet, but I'm definitely feeling there's another split coming. Adaptation, renewal, time to begin again stronger and better, or you're going to be going off, veering into that direction. 3 more cups broken. Yes, you have 6 cups. Keep hold of those 6 healthy cups. Make sure those cups are protected. Then you can have these other 3 broken cups replaced quicker and easier. Then you're going to be heading in a more compassionate, insightful space where you are going to have more equality, where you are going to be navigating and mastering certain skills to get you to the 10 of Wands, where you have that activity, you know which action to take, you know how to take that action to favour yourself, to also make sure that you're aware of those who are supporting you genuinely, sincerely. Empty words. Somebody was saying to me, what was the comment? Oh, everything's so expensive now. Everything costs so much. And I said, well, there's still a lot of cheap talk around. So I'd rather it be substantial and with some quantity and quality over quantity first, and then build up the quantity. I don't know. It was a conversation about everything being so expensive. It's like, well, there's still too much cheap talk around. It was around that line. With everything being so expensive, there's still a lot of cheap talk around. Around that kind of, that was my response basically. So it's that kind of vibe here. This way we're understanding the value of our words, the value of silence, the value of just doing what you've got to do because you've got to do it. Here, there needs to be either an adaptation to be able to renew, to come onto this side, or it's going to veer off. And I'm not surprised at that. In fact, it's quite inspiring. And with that, we've got the Ace of Wands, which is even better. The momentum, I can feel my words. It's not even a stutter. It's not even a trip. It's literally, it's like they're repeating and they're kind of going faster, faster, faster. In that process, we've got the Ace of Wands under the guidance of Hierophant. Like I just said there, we're going to be mastering certain actions, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, if to do it, who not to do it with, who to do it with, who's investing in us, who we know we can trust the backing of, and who we can back. This is a great energy if you're on the correct side of it. And those of you who are feeling you're on the correct side of it, I know you're going to be smiling about this because you can feel the momentum going in the correct direction. If you're complaining or moaning about any little silly things right now, there's a difference between complaining and there's a difference between assessing what's working and what's not working. Very different vibe. Very different vibe. Get to understand that. So if you feel like you're in a complaining mode, you need to stop and reassess so that you can adapt, renew, and get back into a more powerful stance. You don't want to be getting more broken cups. Just because the 3 cups are broken and those cups are okay right now, you've got the 5 of cups that can go down into. In the 5 of cups, you've got 3 standing, 2 down. You can go down again, 4 of cups. You can go down again. Do you know what I mean? You want to be getting that way and then having a new set of fresh cups, not depleting the cups you've already got. So for this now, there's a lot going on. I feel like, again, I had the same feeling in the Divine Feminine reading. So I could keep going with this for quite a long time, but I'm not going to because it's such a big energy. So what I am doing is I am, where appropriate, when appropriate, if suitable, adding in certain posts with some written blurb. So I did one yesterday, one each for the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, and also on the Instagram. If you haven't joined me there yet, I will try and remember to put the link in the box. And then if you join me on Instagram as well, there will be the cards and then a kind of a different kind of blurby thing on there as well. Either way, there's a lot to do. There's also life to live outside of this, so I do apologise for like saying I want to get this done quickly and not happening, but at the same time I'm understanding progress is occurring and not carrying anyone with me, but at the same time making sure I'm showing up the best I can. You have lots to do here. You have lots, even if you're in this end, then absolutely enjoy it, thrive in it. Fantastic that you're in that space and you're doing it, and congratulations, because it has taken a certain level of splits to have already have happened to be in that space. This one, get your courage and strength up and start refocusing, otherwise it's going to just go off. You have last bits of opportunity now to come into this space with this particular split. So, for now, until later, peace and love.